Okay. This is Sakuga Builds podcast episode 2.
No, wait, I was drinking water.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Welcome back to Sakuga Builds. We're excited today to talk about a variety of things, including a deep dive into Lego ideas, our minifig of the week, and some new news from Lego Super Mario.
And guys, I'm wearing a Snorlax hat, guys. I'm not trying to be quirky. It's just because I need a haircut. I'm not trying to be silly and different. I just do need a haircut.
That is quirky.
No, I'm not trying to be quirky and different with this Snorlax hat, but I am wearing a Snorlax hat right now, and that's just because I need a haircut. But I am scheduled tomorrow, so by this time next week, I won't be wearing this anymore.
Well, people are just listening. They won't even care what hat you're wearing.
Well, like, I just described it like this is a Snorlax hat, so if that's cringe, I'm sorry, but I gotta, do what I gotta do.
Thank you. So, let's start off. Classic segment, Minifig of the Week. Well, we only started this segment last week, but Minifig of the Week for me, the other day I was at Bricks and Minifigs, and
Shout out.
It's always fun just to see what random minifigs they have. So I went in and let me preface this by saying I have never had a single Legends of Chima set, figure, piece even, maybe. I don't think I've ever touched anything Legend of Chima physically in real life. Not to say that I've just been avoiding it, but I wasn't super into it when it was out. So I go in and they had a huge shipment of Chima minifigs that someone had just sold or something. And I saw one that was it caught my eye because of the face. So I'm going to try to describe this because it is a little extra. It's the minifig Voom Voom.
Voom Boom.
Ice Voom Voom. The Ice Zombie Vulture from the final year of Legends of Chima. He's got half translucent, like one leg is translucent blue, one is white. His body is white, but it has like flesh peeling off and everything. It's pretty graphic.
That is just violent. That is just disgusting. Like, I don't want to look at that.
Yeah, coming from someone who plays Doom Eternal, Matt.
See, this is just unholy because it's trying to be all cutesy, and then here's the icy guy with the purple flesh coming out.
I mean, it's pretty brutal, but it's very striking. Especially what I love about it is the head, which, Chima heads are different because it's like a printed face, but then an animal features mounted on top. Well, this guy has a really cool animal head where it's this giant, long gray beak on his white flesh peeling head. So I just think it's super unique and nothing really that we've seen before in Lego.
Well, it's like it has some more value with the 2-part headpiece with the beak over the face. Even though the face looks unholy, it's not like the ice cream man from video where you only have the ice cream head, for example, and you can only use that if you're making a different minifigure. You can only use the ice cream head. This just kind of has some more versatility, but like, what other character are you gonna make with this purple flesh ripping off? This is actually the Demon Bull King. This is what inspired the Demon Bull King. Mm-hmm.
Very similar. Yeah. Lego's getting dark, man.
I hope it gets darker and darker, and then because Marvel just announced, like Marvel Comics announced their new sort of headlining series. It's called Marvel something. It's called Dark Ages. So basically the premise is all the power goes out basically in the whole world. So Iron Man's suit dies and he makes a steampunk armor, and it's pretty exciting. That would be some cool Lego sets. But I'll show you my minifigure of the week right now. I have it with me, but I'm pulling up a picture as well. It is actually the Proxima Midnight minifigure. I'll hold it up to my camera.
That's awesome.
It's really interesting minifigure because comparing it side by side with the actual Proxima Midnight from Infinity War, you could definitely tell they had reference material, like her gold-plated arm that she has. It's kind of like an armored one in Infinity War. She has like a shoulder and a gauntlet, but her comic version, it's like the whole arm is sort of this whole metal sleeve. But I think it's not terrible. It's definitely not detailed whatsoever, but the hairpiece is super cool with the horns coming out, and it just gives you good memories of Infinity War. But shout out to Daniel, my big brother, for picking this up for me. Shout out Bricks and Minifigs. Her weapon is that she comes with is kind of weird looking. Let's see if I can pull it up. Yeah, it's doesn't really look like her spear in the show, because she has a 3-pronged staff. So they didn't really put that much detail into it, but it still is fun to have the minifigure from the movie.
Yeah, it's a cool minifig. Yeah, and it doesn't seem super faithful. But that's beside the point, because it's, especially the headpiece, is really, really cool.
And her skin is like purpley. I don't know. I went over this in the last podcast, how it's like an adaptation of an adaptation with not that many like printing or details, so it's kind of watered down in a way. But I still like the minifigure somehow. So shout out Proxima Midnight. I always had a crush on her and Supergiant, their comic versions, because she doesn't look the best in the movie. That's besides the point.
Yeah, it's a really cool minifig. Awesome. So today we are going to dig into a little of the history of Lego Ideas, how it started, how it came about, some of the highlights, some of the not so great parts of it, and where we're at with it now, how Matt and I are feeling about it, and just how the Lego community is feeling about Lego Ideas at this point, because a lot of mixed emotions for sure. So let me go back. Matt, what's your first memory of Lego Ideas? When did you first hear about the
probably like this premise? It's probably you telling me a long time ago, like, oh, there's this thing where you can vote on the sets, and then they'll be approved. But I don't know how old I was. I didn't think too much of it. The first one I had is Voltron, which is
the only one you have, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Don't say that, or else some Lego fans will be like, this guy's not cool. But I did build a lot of them thanks to my big uncle. The Ghostbusters car, the first one, the Lego Birds Ideas, and the Big Bang Theory ones. I did speed builds of those way back in the day.
Nice.
But I really only have Voltron. But what other ones do you really need? What even else is there that was even worth getting? Honestly.
Well, I mean, there's a lot, and I think that's what's so interesting about it. I guess before we get into the history, is that it's so diverse. It's the theme of all the themes. It's a catch-all, and it can be anything, which means in reality there's not a lot of cohesion, because it literally can just be anything. So if we go back, I first heard about it when it came out and started as Lego Kuso. Who knows if I'm pronouncing that right, because it's spelled Cuusoo, Kuzu, maybe, I don't know. But it's a very interesting story, because Kuzo Systems was a Japanese company that was doing it was a service to help companies kind of engage with their customers and to get user feedback. And even if you look on their website, they talk about how it's a web platform pursuing to create a safe society by collecting and commercializing users' wants. So there you go. So it was a very interesting fit for Lego to join up with this company Kuzo Systems to create what's called Lego Kuso. and essentially provide that service with Kuzo's help of commercializing users' wants. Users submitted Lego ideas. And the first one was released in 2011 as the Shinkai 6500 submarine. And I'm not sure how big of a wide of a launch this had. I don't think it was very wide at all. Oh yeah, it was exclusive to Japan. And so it started just as a very Japanese exclusive thing and has kind of blossomed into this worldwide Lego integrated theme that we know today. And I think it was in 2014 when so from 2008 to 2014, Lego Kuso had their partnership, but starting from 2014 on to now, Lego just decided, hey, we love this, we're just going to make our own thing called Lego Ideas. And maybe that's oversimplification, but now they have their own platform, their own team of dedicated moderators and everything to kind of run this whole show. Does that make sense, Matt?
Yeah, it makes sense. It made it seem kind of toxic, like they stole the idea, or like they took the idea and made their own thing.
Maybe. I don't know how it went down.
I don't know.
That's possible.
Some of them are cool. Here's the thing I don't understand. It's community curated, so like, the goal is for what the people want. Am I just like the outlier, or does everyone really want the Lego typewriter? Does everyone really want the Lego typewriter?
Well, here's the thing, like the majority of people on ideas are likely AFOLs, adult fans of Lego, who are designing things that they like and that they submit. And it's other typically adult fans of Lego who are voting on these things to get submitted. But what's interesting is that a lot of the submissions that we see, there's such a huge variety. There are kid-oriented themes. We just had a Gravity Falls, animated show set that was just in the latest review period, and other stuff like Studio Ghibli and Avatar. But then there's also like modular buildings and architecture, and then life objects like the typewriter. And it seems like the stuff that always gets approved lately is like the real life objects.
Yeah, some of them are cool. Like, for example, Sesame Street, I think is a cool idea, because that would have never happened just randomly unless it was kind of done in this format. And so we get these minifigures of our beloved characters. People get Big Bang Theory minifigures or whatever they're into. I feel like the cool ones always make it to the passing phase, the winning phase, but they never get approved. Like Zelda, Naruto, I always see those floating around. But
Ratatouille.
It's easier for licensing or all sorts of issues that they have to do. Yeah, Ratatouille. Oh, that would be so cool.
So many.
But it's always not always, but it's always the typewriter in the world. Map type crap, and I'm sick of this crap right now.
Well, it's interesting because if you look back, it seems like almost 50% of their stuff is licensed. Like, whether it's from a TV show or movies, or you have like the Beatles and the Mickey Mouse stuff. So there are a ton of licensed things. But it really feels like lately, well, I can't even say that, because Winnie the Pooh and Sesame Street were both licensed stuff.
Those are the cool. Yeah, I like, maybe because I'm just a minifigure guy, but those ones are the cool ones. But
yeah,
maybe there's a huge market for people wanting to build, the grand piano and stuff like that. I'm not really sure. So, what did you say? There was one that was approved today? Or recently?
There's one that was approved today. So there was a review period. It was the third 2020 Lego review, and the results came in today. And there were, 6 times 4, 25 projects that had 10,000 votes, and that were reviewed by the Lego group, the ideas team. And guess how many actually got approved out of 25 to be made?
One.
Wow. Just one.
Yeah. Which what is it called?
It's called the motorized lighthouse. So
motorized lighthouse.
Yeah, it's on Brickset. If you just go to the news on Brickset, you can see Lego ideas. The results are in, and yeah, it's this kind of disheartening trend that has been happening the last few review periods, where so many idea submissions have been submitted. So many have been getting 10,000 views. I think the platforms are becoming more and more popular. More people are submitting. More people are voting, and they're still not increasing their output. So they're keeping to their, okay, we'll release a set or two every quarter, and that's it. Like a set a quarter from ideas, and that's all you're going to get. No matter how many are going to be, get to the threshold of 10,000 votes.
I'm looking at the picture now. It's not the final product, of course, because they revise it and make it cool or whatever. Cause, like, looking at the Voltron original one and the final one is just night and day. They went crazy on that. But why this one? Why this? So it's a motorized light, like the light rotates, or it has robotics.
Yeah.
Why can't people just make this out of bricks that they own? I don't know. That's why for me, maybe that's why Winnie the Pooh and Sesame Street stand out, is because we can't make official Lego mold of Elmo's head as an actual mold.
Good point.
But maybe there's. And the Lego typewriter has probably some exclusive pieces. I don't know if they're printed letters or...
Yeah, all the printed letter tiles are all exclusive.
So, that's kind of cool. But like a lighthouse, you could make that from custom, guys. Come on, guys.
Yeah, it's tough. And I saw those comments like that on the news article, where people are like, well, if the set you wanted didn't get in, just make it yourself. And it's like, you physically, unless you're printing or molding your own parts, you physically couldn't make some of these, like the Avatar, the two different Avatar Last Airbender set, the Avatar Pandora set, the Gravity Falls set. Like, these are things that would be very difficult. The Spirited Away,
but it's fun with the it's fun with the licenses, because it's an official Lego set with this license. Yeah. Like, collaborations have so much impact. For example, Super Smash Brothers. Yeah. It's the dynamic.
Yeah, exactly. And the third or fourth idea set ever made was Minecraft Microworld, the third one. And now that's one of Lego's biggest themes is Minecraft, and it's been going for 9 years. So some of these ideas things can spark really lucrative themes. I don't think a lighthouse is going to spark a lucrative theme or something like that. Ghostbusters, you had the Ecto 1, and now they have the big Ecto 1 and the firehouse. And
you can really tell the adult fans of Lego were involved. For these ones, the elderly that watch Ghostbusters. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Well, and all of these sets now are marketed as 18 plus. Even Winnie the Pooh, Sesame Street, they're really going in on the nostalgia, or for the advanced builders, and put it on display. I got the Winnie the Pooh and built it with my significant other, and it was awesome. It was great. I love that set. But
was it hard? Was it hard to build? Did you have to be 18 do you think, to build that?
No, you didn't have to be 18. There were a lot of cool advanced techniques, nothing crazy, but just the fact that they are saying, "Oh, this is for 18 plus," means that they're not designing it with kids in mind. It's not meant to be played with. It's just meant to be a display item or something that you can build, and that's it. Like adult coloring books.
Yeah, like you want to display the lighthouse and display the grand piano.
Old fishing store, grand piano.
Even though you have a grand piano in your house, well, not everyone has a grand piano, but a lot of people have pianos already in the house. If you want to go get the Adidas Superstar at your local Adidas outlet, then go on ahead. Or if you want to build it in Lego and display it, then go ahead. But the things that will spark more imagination with the collaborations, is more magic. That collaborations where two things clashing together. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but they have the most impact, like Travis Scott and Jordans, Travis Scott and Nike. Everybody wants the Travis Scotts because it's a collabs just have a huge dynamic, like Bear Brick and whatever company they collaborate with, Bear Brick and Star Wars, Bear Brick and this, because it's cool. So there, people will like this lighthouse. But look, they had a Wallace and Gromit one. Really?
Thank goodness that wasn't approved. Wallace and Gromit is my nightmare. So, but a lot of people love it. Yeah. So there are so many things like that. But I have to take a step back. I have the Blacksmith. That's one of my favorite sets. I love it. It's minifig scale. Like, I love things that are minifig scale. I don't think I have a single set that isn't minifig scale. So the medieval Blacksmith really speaks to me. The Lighthouse, on the other hand, it looks like it's microfigure scale.
No.
That's a hard sell for a lot of minifig scale people. Maybe they'll make a minifig scale, but they won't be able to get the same amount of like detail with it if it is.
No. But Voltron has no minifigures, and it's great because he kind of is the figure itself. I think it would have been cool if they had a little display stand like the Batmobile, not the Spider-Mobile. Because the Batmobile, that big UCS one, wasn't minifigure scale, but it had the display stand with all those cool classic minifigures on them. So it would have been cool to see that for the Voltron one with the 80s cartoon minifigures. That would have been crazy, but I'm not even mad about that. Because obviously they can't fit into Voltron. But we need the minifigures in the sets.
I know.
Or else.
Like the Tron Legacy set, I have that. It is awesome. And I think here's the great thing about ideas and why I'm so glad that is a theme, even though it's very hit or miss. It pushes the boundaries of what LEGO is comfortable with, what they have done before, the types of collabs that they do, the types of mechanisms they put in, like the typewriter. I've since it's just been released, I don't have it, but and I don't plan on getting it because, like I said, it's not minifig scale. But some of the reviews I've seen and the workings of the mechanism are incredible, and the design that has gone into the typewriter, which is also the same guy who did the Blacksmith, the same LEGO designer. It's incredible. And the piano as well, the mechanisms involved there, even though it doesn't technically make sound on its own, they are marvelous. And so you look at things like that, and they're really pushing the boundaries of what LEGO can do, and that's awesome. But also the collabs. Would LEGO have ever done a Winnie the Pooh? Well, maybe not outside of Duplo. Would they have ever done a Sesame Street? Also, maybe not outside of Duplo. So some of these things where, like a Friends Central Perk, and now that's its own thing where they have the apartments, and it really pushes the boundaries. And I think a lot of times they still play it safe on which ones they pick to do, like a lighthouse or things like that. I
feel like that's playing it ultra safe. Like, where was the decision making? Like, they thought, oh, it would be a super cool. Because I could see the appeal of having a spit rotating light in that. That's cool. But, you know, why can't you do that in the Tower of Sauron or Eye of Sauron? I don't know.
Gosh,
I don't know.
Imagine?
I don't know.
So that brings us to where we are with the LEGO community today and ideas. It's this weird kind of love-hate relationship because so many of the sets are so beloved now. Like Barracuda Bay, one of my favorite sets of all time. And some of these other ones that are just classic sets. But at the same time, when you see all of the sets that get through their approval stage to at least 10,000 votes and then don't make it in, and you get something that's like, wow, we could have had so many other cool things. It gets really disappointing, and you kind of get jaded. Like, all these designers, these amazing fan designers who submit things, are they going to keep submitting cool things to the ideas if none of their stuff ever gets approved, you know? So, and of course, not everything can get approved. Like an architecture set is just going to be made in architecture. A modular building, they're just going to make a modular building. So, of course, maybe certain IPs they can't do, but it's getting really frustrating for a lot of people. Seeing like in the next review period, there are over 50 that have gotten over 10,000 votes. And how many can we expect to get from that? One, maybe two.
Maybe they should up the standard for what it takes to qualify, maybe, because it's getting more and more popular. But I just feel like it was time after the typewriter. I just feel like it was time for something else. But I'm not like a huge way crazy ideas guy where I'm on the edge of my seat like, what is it, because I'm at the point where I'm like, oh, it's not going to be the Zelda or the Naruto or the Avatar, because we could just, based on previous trends, it's kind of like the how did I describe this, the C-list licenses. For example, Ghostbusters as a license, they'll probably sell that IP for not sell the entire IP, but do these collaborations. Like, for example, Planet Coaster, Ghostbusters and Planet Coaster did a collaboration.
Right, a lot cheaper.
It's not like you're seeing Planet Coaster and Legend of Zelda type, for example. But some of them are definitely cool, like Pirates of Barracuda Bay. Medieval Blacksmith is kind of cool. But
there's something for everybody, and that's why it's great. And you don't have to like everything in the theme. Some people, it's like their favorite theme, and they collect everything. I saw an Instagram post from someone the other day who had a display of every single idea set ever made, and it's like, wow, it's a lot of cool sets. They don't really go together at all cohesively because they're all just so different from each other. But
yeah, I wouldn't say it's like a theme necessarily.
Right, it's not really a theme. It's more of a service,
platform. But as we can see, it might stem off into a theme like Minecraft. So hopefully the Zelda will be. I'm not even a huge Zelda guy, but just imagine that the Lego Zelda minifigure scale. May I repeat? And that would just be cool.
That'd be cool. I mean, they're working with Nintendo a lot already with the Mario stuff. So I'm like, please, let's just get into some Nintendo minifig stuff. Mario figures, Zelda figures.
Have we ever gotten a Nintendo minifigure yet?
No, not that I
don't think so.
Maybe some Comic-Con thing, but I really don't think they had anything to do with Nintendo until last year's Mario collab.
Because this one was just disheartening. I'm going to pull up King Bowser's Airship, which was released. The official images came out. And just because when you look at the Airship, you look at the face of the Bowser on the front, the bust, and it looks so cool. Like, this looks like a playset, right?
It is.
And then we go to my beloved favorite character, Kamek, on the bottom left here. Kamek the Magic Koopa, or it could just be a Magic Koopa, but usually she's wearing all blue like Kamek. And what if there was a Kamek minifigure? Oh my gosh. But this brick built chibi looking Duplo looking Mega Bloks looking boy.
Yeah, I mean I think now we're just transitioning away from ideas and more just onto Mario. And minifigs. I think one of the reasons that minifigs and minifig scale stuff is so appealing is because it's standardized. And when you have something like the Lego Super Mario theme that lives within its own standard of the Mario tech Bluetooth dude, and all of the creatures have to be sized relative to that, it's much harder to integrate this or this Kamek or the Bowser Juniors with other minifig stuff. And that's one of the best things I like about having multiple themes. I can integrate the Medieval Blacksmith with Ninjago, and it works pretty well. It can be fun. Having that kind of standardization is so nice, so appealing. And the fact that all of Mario themes so far lives in its own standardized world is frustrating, because it'll always just be there on its own.
That's the issue. Because the standard, people love minifigures because, well, this is one of the reasons I love minifigures, is because they're like Funko Pops in a way. So many different characters. And it's also somewhat better than Funko Pops in the way that you get original characters with Lego, like Ninjago, Monkey Kid, etc. But so many characters are standardized to this one format. Look at Chemic right here. I feel like this is a Chemic mock I'm looking at on Instagram. Sadly, maybe I love Chemic so much from Yoshi's Island, but I feel I could have made this. I don't know if that leg piece is that came out only for the Mario sets, but I feel like this could have been just made out of traditional pieces, except for his print. That's the only thing is the print on the Goombas, Monty Mole, Chemic. And it's just, it's sad because it's tempting, because look how good the ship looks, but you know, you can't integrate this with your other sets, like you said. I mean, you can do anything, but you're not gonna have any. You're gonna have Jay and Lloyd and Monkey Kid, etc., and then you're gonna have a giant brick-headed Luigi Mario, guys. Maybe it's selling super well, I don't know, because it's fun to play with, and it's just the IP will carry the sales anyway. But it is, a lot of people like this. I feel like it's like, oh, it's like actual play sets. You don't have to do the play features, but it's sad in the way that it's just still attached to the Super Mario format. You know,
exactly.
You see the potential here. That's why it's disheartening. Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are people like, I haven't talked to anybody personally who's been into it, but I've seen people who are online who like it for what it is, and that's great. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have kept making them. Some of these sets look nice. I am not going to get any. I have some of the collectible villains because they're just cool on their own as display piece, but can't really display some of this stuff.
Is Lakitu Skyworld. You look at Lakitu up there. He looks like a Duplo block. Does he not look like a Duplo up there? I mean, it's not an adult set by any means. It's definitely a kids type set, but like, bruh, look at this dude. But it looks cute though, for sure. Like, I just can't push myself to actually get it. Like King Bowser's Castle, I was really close to wanting it, but I just can't do it. Other official images, we got Boss Sumo Bro Topple Tower. Looks like Boom Boom on the top here, but could be someone else. It looks like those ravens.
It does. I don't know what exactly it is.
I feel like they're in Super Yoshi's Island, but I don't even know. Yeah, I feel like they're in the Ravens, Raphael the Raven type stage. The black with the orange beak.
I think you're so right about having the IP carry this. Imagine if this was a Lego original theme, the same game mechanics and everything. No one's gonna buy that. Less than this for sure. Like, the fact that, okay, we're Mario, so you have some idea. Okay, collect coins. Gotta hit the enemies, so that setup's there. There are recognizable characters. If there were no recognizable characters, this wouldn't sell at all. I think that's the thing. It's like you see a sumo guy, like, oh, I remember him from Mario, or you see Lakitu and Chemic, like, oh, so cool. Just wish they were minifigs or minifig compatible.
I think a lot of people wish there were minifigs. What's even worse is it's an this is an expansion for everything's an expansion to the standard set. So to continue the theme, they have to keep putting these out more and more and more to expand, and it has to be in this format now, which is something that's sad that just came to my mind. Here's a picture of the last one that was announced, which I guess are like Donkey Kong Country vibes with these little rhinos.
I literally, we made a ride like this little windmill Ferris wheel when we were kids, remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we made a whole
literally
theme park.
made this before, 20 years ago.
But yeah, we made a whole theme park. Donkey Kong Legos, that'd be cool. Donkey Kong Big Fig. Just joking. I'm sure it's fun with the features and everything, but I feel like the sales will probably do good, and they just have to make more and more and more of these, sadly. So for Mario, I'm not a huge Mario guy. I love Super Mario Odyssey, really, but I guess you can only hold out hope for a different video game IP. Like Overwatch, for example, those sets were cool. Like I don't play Overwatch whatsoever, and I was actually tempted to actually. I was like this close to getting them, and I've never touched Overwatch because the minifigures look so cool. Right. The whole sets, I think that were fantastic. But Nintendo, I think we could only hope for a different franchise to get some to scale sets, if that makes sense.
Exactly, I'm totally with you. I really hope so. There's so much you could do there. Imagine like with Metroid 5, Metroid Dread coming out this fall, like Samus, Lego, and
Samus, Lego.
It's a gold mine. It's a literal gold mine. They are sitting on it. Or like a giant oil well. They're skimming the top of it. Like, let's make some interactive play, which is cool. I appreciate that Lego's always trying new things, for better or for worse. This is much better than like Videos app integration or Hidden Sides app integration, which really failed. I've tried both of those and love the sets, but hate the app integration.
Because this has no app integration, right? It's just the electronics within the Marios.
There is app integration, but you don't I don't think you need it to play.
See, that's the if you're gonna do something like that, it's good to keep it within the physical set because people want to be on their phones. They'd be on TikTok and crap right now. If they want to play with Legos, they'd be playing with Legos. So that's a good concept, but yeah.
But like adult fans of Lego are likely not getting this as much as kids are. If they just did Minifig scale, anything, it could be any Mario or like Nintendo thing, Minifig scale, Kirby, even if there was Kirby stuff, Metroid, Zelda, Mario, anything, it would appeal to all ages because like Nintendo games appeal to everybody. So,
but there might be like,
no, why? What's holding them back?
Well, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Like I think it's frustrating for a lot of people because you see them like, oh, they actually have the Super Mario IP. I don't know what they're allowed to do within it. I'm sure they have to negotiate a lot.
That's a good point.
But it's frustrating people because they see that they've done a collaboration. So people think, oh, Nintendo's fully on board. But maybe there's different stuff behind the scenes. They could just keep going with the Mario board game sets. But have a
till the end
Super Smash CMF, even if it's just the Nintendo characters like Pit, Byleth, Pyro, Mithra, Palutena.
That'd be amazing.
Then we get like the Mario Luigi minifigures within that CMF. But I'm sure it's a whole licensing deal. Like, Pokemon is licensed by Nintendo, but it's the Pokemon company, and they already deal with Mega Bloks and. Who knows if Zelda has its own things that they got to do.
Yeah, that's a very good point. We don't know. It's just crazy. So I'm hoping one day when we're still alive, we will see. I mean, I'm not going to put all my stock like, oh, my life and salvation depends on.
At that point, we will have designed it at that point. If it's like
if it takes
in our elderlyhood.
Yeah.
But on one other note, they might run out of ideas soon with because they did Bowser's Castle, which is a huge one. Now this Airship is a really big thing within Super Mario Bros. 3 and stuff. It's a whole theme on Super Mario Maker, the Airship theme. So it's a really big thing. But are they running out of ideas with Mario? Because what's Boom Boom's Tower with Raphael?
Okay, well, that's true. But just think of all the things it could do with Mario Odyssey that they haven't tapped into. So many worlds. It's such a massive franchise. But yeah, some definitely interesting picks with like Boom Booms.
Yeah, with the Rhino Ferris wheel and the Boom Boom's Tower. I'm not even sure if it's actually a Boom Boom.
Sumo, I think it's a Sumo.
I'll just call him Boom Sumo or Boom Boom. But like that the Boom Boom and the Rhinos kind of give me like a little bit vibes. Like, are you running out of big things? Maybe, but there's a lot that you could do. Peach's Castle, for example, would be a big one.
Yeah.
But then we get a big brick built Peach, or like a Peach playable thing, and not a Peach minifigure, sadly. But yeah, that's my
exactly.
thoughts on the new Super Mario sets.
I love the idea of things that can combine together. That's the one thing that I'll say about the Mario stuff. The fact that it can combine together and make more stuff. There are not very many themes nowadays in Lego that do this. Some hint at it. You have the modular buildings. The modular buildings are so popular because they can link together. You can combine them. You can configure them however you want. I really don't know why more themes haven't kind of adopted that. You get teases like in Monkey Kids, some of the Monkey Kids sets last year. Red Sun's Inferno Truck, you had the Speedy Panda convenience store. In the Monkey King Warrior Mech, you had Pigsy's Noodle Shop, and they could link together. So you have a corner block, a city block, with the two shops. It's like, oh, that's so cool. That's such an awesome idea. And we're never going to see anything that can add on ever again. It's like, why?
I guess maybe the cons to that is getting something and feeling like you can't have this without the other thing. For example, you can't have Boom Boom's Drop Tower without the base set. So maybe that's the con, but also that is good for sales because then you have to buy more sets.
Definitely true.
It reminds me of Heroica. Like the Heroica was so fun. But then they had the expansions that add on to it. And actually with their expansions, you could have just bought that expansion and played that by itself. You don't even need a quote unquote base set. But that was microfig scale, but it was under the board game's theme, so it seemed different, you know.
Right. Yeah, it was its own thing. I think they were nanofigs. But yeah, that's a really good example because something that can stand on its own, and even the Monkey Kid buildings, they could stand on their own, no problem. But when you combine things, it makes it that much cooler. And yeah, I mean, I would want to get more stuff if you could combine and build out a world, build out a city. You have that with big stuff like Ninjago City Gardens and the docks. But why not more of the small stuff? I think it's another big opportunity.
Yeah, it would have been good for Mario for standardized sets because having them all of be the sets also formatted the same, because kind of like a Mario map where you go from place to place on the overworld map. It would sort of mimic that in a way. But there's pros and cons to everything, and the board game Mario has its pros and cons, mainly cons in my opinion. But
trying something different at least.
Yeah, try something different, and it may be cons for me, but that evens out in pros for someone else. Maybe someone younger who really likes this and thinks it's the funnest thing ever.
That's very likely. Yeah.
But yeah. Do you have any final comments on that?
Everyone likes their own thing, whether it's ideas, whether it's Lego Super Mario. Everything's going to appeal to a different fan base, and I think it's important for everybody to recognize that everything has its niche and everybody has their own thing that interests them. For us, it's not this iteration of Mario. For some kids, maybe it is. And for us, not the typewriter. For a bunch of people, it clearly is. So,
yeah.
At least there, as long as there's something for everybody, then
at least
complain.
What's really keeping me happy is the Star Wars sets that are coming, and mainly Moff Gideon's shuttle, but apparently there was some reviews on the Mandalorian Starfighter that it couldn't stand up or something.
Yeah, there's no landing gear, which whatever. When we get it, we can review it and talk about that.
Right, but still. You can't. Already seen the Moff Gideon minifigure. So they can't mess that up. We already seen it. So it looks great. But other than that, my closing remark is just: can we please get some Dark Ages set? And also, what's stopping them from putting existing IP like Marvel, Star Wars stuff into ideas like a King in Black, Null, Dragon? into an ideas program. Is that not allowed? Or I feel like that should be allowed for more obscure type things. Like, I don't think they're ever going to do a King in Black Lego set out the blue. Might be too dark. But that could really be within point. Lego ideas, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I like that. Submitting ideas for existing themes. Why not? Why not?
Why not? Anyways, this has been SAKUGACAST episode 2. And it's your host, Danielewa and Mathoozala, checking out now.
Thanks for watching and or listening. Have a fantastic week.
I will get a haircut. I will get a haircut next time.